Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 43rd Annual Sports Hall of Fame Enshrinement Banquet. My name is Ron Bacalar. I am your MC for the evening. As I'm sure some of you are aware, I've been Joe Tate's backup for quite a few years whenever the Cavaliers managed to make it into the playoffs. But I would like to say in all sincerity, there are four common denominators between Joe Tate and myself. We both worked at WERE in Cleveland. We both moved on to Nick Milletti's radio station, which today is WTAM, back then, and I'm not going to say all those W's, 3WE, 1100. We are both railroad buffs. We love trains, and we're both the same age. So it's an honor for me to be able to step into Joe Tate's shoes tonight. And I would also like to indicate the committee saw fit and such a wonderful opportunity to have Joe Tate come back this evening as the guest speaker, one final hurrah. And he consented to that. However, he will not be here this evening. He discovered at almost the last minute he had a contractual obligation to be at a book signing tonight. So, Lord willing, and the creek doesn't rise, we can bring him back next year as the final guest speaker? Okay. I just would like to let you know that the bar will be open during the dinner hour only. The bar will then reopen after the program is completed for your socializing. And the last announcement, please turn off your cell phones, or at least put it on vibrate if you like that feeling. But don't let any noise emanate from your cell phones, please. I like that feeling. I got mine on vibrate. Yes. All right. Once again, it is my pleasure to introduce Marlene Karpinski, who will come forth and sing our national anthem. I would ask you to please rise.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the Rockies' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Great job. As always, a beautiful job by a beautiful lady. And now it is my pleasure to introduce to you the president of the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame, Neil Summers.
Thank you, Ron. Welcome to the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame's 43rd Annual Enshrinement Banquet. This organization was founded to honor those individuals who excel in athletic achievements or for their involvement in the sports arena. Tonight, we will induct the class of 2012, consisting of 8 individuals, and for the first time, 2 teams whose accomplishments continue to exemplify the high standards of performance excellence. We congratulate tonight's inductees, but also acknowledge that many family members, friends, and coaches who have given them the encouragement and support needed to succeed. I offer my sincere appreciation to you, the public, for your continued support in the tradition of honoring excellence in sports. Relax, dine, and enjoy your evening and friendship, and enjoy your evening. We would like some special guests we have here this evening. Before proceeding, we wish to introduce those individuals who will assist in tonight's program. Seated at the table to my front right, socialist Marlene Karpinski. What a great job.
You're a socialist?
Well, a soloist. Well, I told you I wouldn't bring political stuff into it. I'm sorry. I wanted to see if they were listening, so I'll talk to Doc tomorrow. Clergy, Father Divis, Mayor Chase Rittenauer, Tim Alcorn of WEOL Sports, Jim Allen of WEOL Sports. We thank you all for your support of the Hall of Fame Committee. Also seated at the front table to my right, we would especially like to welcome Mary Beth Mahalik and Eileen Lindsay, the wives of 2 recently deceased committee members, Bill Mahalik and Joe Lindsay. Bill and Joe were both past presidents and current committee members. Their contributions to the success of the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame and to this banquet were invaluable, and they will be truly missed. Thank you for joining us this evening. We really appreciate it. The Lorain Sports Hall of Fame Committee proudly presents the class of 2012. We ask that you would hold your applause until all inductees have been introduced. Rick Carrion and his wife Linda, would you please stand? Mike Hartman, accompanied by his wife Debbie. Jeff King, accompanied by his daughter Betsy. Jim Stevenson, accompanied by his brother Dale. Al Henachek, represented by his daughter Kathy Holland and his sister Mary Alice Malone. Mike Mishak, accompanied by his wife Sandy. Our special category, Nancy Bauer, accompanied by her husband Tom. John Tomaszewski, accompanied by his wife Jane. In our team category, the Lorain Catholic High School 1994 volleyball team, Coach Kathleen McConnell. And the Lorain Catholic High School 1984-85 basketball team, presented by Coach Jim Lawhead and his wife Barbara. Ladies and gentlemen, please join the committee in welcoming the class of 2012.
And now we would ask that Father Daniel Divis, pastor of St. Mary Church, to come forward for the invocation.
Don't say anything Democratic, don't say anything Republican, don't do this and don't do that. And, okay, I'm sorry. Although they told me Joe wouldn't be here, so I get to pray longer. So, which one, my prayer? You want to write that down? Well, I'll give it to you. I got a copy. Go to www. No, okay. Let us pray. Loving God, we gather together tonight surrounded by family and friends, and we express our gratitude for the accomplishments of the past, and we commit ourselves to seek to fulfill the best of the potential within us. May we strive through both deeds and words for great love and thankfulness within our families and our communities, our nation, and our society. May we never be too busy to pause and say thanks to each other and to you for all our blessings. Mindful of having been given so much, We again ask for your blessing now on us and the food that we share, that it give us nourishment for our bodies and spirits. And blessed are you, O God, the source of all these gifts. Amen.
What time is it? Chow time. All right, we will begin now, and it is my honor to introduce the Mayor of the City of Lorain, Chase Rittenauer.
Thank you to Ron, and thank you for everybody for coming out. And you put me at a table with Father Divis, and it's going to be an eventful evening. I can tell you that much. But thanks for coming out tonight. This is certainly a wonderful event. The people in this room, as I look around, certainly resemble so much of what is great about our city. It's great about Lorain. So many families, so much history here on this stage and throughout the room. And I'd be remiss if I didn't pick on Mr. John Tomaszewski up here. In reading the newspaper article this morning in the Morning Journal, John went to Heidelberg, and he is a fellow student prince back when yeah, that's right. I'm a Heidelberg grad myself. It's always good when Heidelberg grads get some notoriety. We're a very small school, so a special congrats to John. And as I was thinking about this evening, my own commencement speech at Heidelberg, the commencement speaker talked about, it was actually the late Ed McMahon, talked about attainable goals. And as I think about that, wherever we go in life, be it running a city or the honor that we're going to bestow upon these people tonight by having them inducted into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame, it all starts with attainable goals and those steps, each step of the way to getting to where they're at today. And I think the fine people on this stage show that, as a wise man said this past weekend, Lorain is greatness in hibernation. I think that's stand-up comedians related to one of the guys on this stage. But I will say that I think Lorain's greatness is coming out of hibernation, and on this stage today, we certainly see that greatness out of hibernation with these fine individuals. So it's my honor to be here as your mayor tonight and say congratulations to everybody being inducted into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mayor. Now, if you folks would help me out, keep your fingers crossed that my trifocals will be able to see this information that I have to read for the next hour or so. And I forgot to put that goo on my uppers, and let's hope they stay in place. All right, tonight the Lorain Sports Hall, it's tough getting old. Tonight, the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame observes the induction of our 43rd class. The Sports Hall of Fame was founded in December of 1969 by a group of sportsmen in cooperation with the Lorain Chamber of Commerce under the leadership of Executive Director J. Ed Ulen. Current committee member Hank Kozlowski and the recently deceased Paul Baumgartner were members of that charter committee. The purpose was to honor Lorain residents whose athletic achievements exemplify the outstanding sports heritage of our community. The first class of 9 individuals were enshrined in April of 1970 and have grown to a total of 315 individuals and 26 teams. Pages 4, 5, and 6 in your program has a complete roster of all the past enshrinees. While a sizable number of those who have been honored are deceased and many others reside in distant parts of the country, we welcome those enshrinees who are with us here tonight. We now request that those in attendance please stand for recognition. And yes, you may applaud. The committee of the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame appreciate the continuing support of all past enshrinees. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the program when the Hall of Fame committee proudly inducts the class of 2012 into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. Tonight we induct 6 athletes whose athletic achievements have earned them recognition, 2 individuals with outstanding coaching and sports advocacy reputations, and 2 teams whose excellence brought fame to their school. I might add that these inductees were nominated by the general public. And with that said, if any of you believe that there are individuals or teams who deserve consideration for future induction into the Hall of Fame, it is up to you to obtain and submit a nominating application to the committee. Application forms are available from any committee member or at the museum and also from their website. Now, before we begin, just a quick reminder to those of you who are being inducted. You will note on the podium here is a little gizmo. I know how to operate it. And when you come up to speak, I will hit start. And you will have originally 6 minutes. But since it took so long, we've got rid of one of the zeros. No, I'm just joking. You still have 6 minutes. And at the end of 6 minutes, if you're still yakking, you're going to hear a beep, 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 which might prove embarrassing, I don't know. But if you notice you're getting down towards the end, don't touch this. There's an electrical shock that will make you look like Albert Einstein. Good luck. All right, here we go. Inductees from the regular category are those individuals who have demonstrated outstanding athletic ability and achievement at their highest level of competition. Leading off tonight's outstanding group of inductees from the regular category is Richard Cerrone. Cerrone, who had an outstanding career playing basketball at Lorain Catholic High School and at Baldwin Wallace College. At Lorain Catholic, Rich holds many offensive and defensive records. He was team most valuable player in his junior and senior years and received numerous major awards, highlighted by being selected to the Class AA All-Ohio First Team. At Baldwin Wallace, he was the winner of the Outstanding Rebounder Award after leading the Yellow Jackets with 7.2 rebounds his senior season of 1981-82. Rich was team tri-captain that year when he also averaged nearly 10 points a game. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Richard Cerrone into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you. I have so many wonderful memories of my hometown. Growing up in Lorain in the 60s and 70s was great. On Lorain's west side at the end of West 44th Street in the cul-de-sac where I grew up with my 5 siblings were 15 other kids, including my best friend Craig Demian. It seemed like every day in the summer we were either playing kickball in the court or having an intense game of 3-on-3 in our driveway. Our competitive nature was honed at an early age. Later on during high school and college, we honed our basketball skills on the playground circuit of Lorain. You could go down to Oakwood Park in South Lorain and run with the Southview boys like Manzi Williams or Bill Smoke Parker. Or head down to Central Park and mix it up with the Admiral King boys like Doug Taylor, the Gladden brothers, or Mike Cerrone. You could head up to Lakeview Park and compete against the Lorain High boys, Lee Savetti or Eddie Wright. Or head down to Gargis Park where my homeboys from Lorain Catholic would be, Ron Wilczak, Paul Wilson, Rich Savozik. And sometimes we'd get some Clearview guys there like Larry Harris or Otis Jenkins. The competition was tough, college caliber on some nights. The playgrounds of Lorain were where you gained toughness and quickness and learned to finish your shot with strength without the expectation of an official calling a foul. We just played through. I've learned some valuable life lessons on the asphalt proving grounds at the parks of Lorain. I'd like to briefly mention 3 men who had a significant influence on me while growing up. The first is Coach Jim Lawhead. I remember a time at the beginning of my senior year in high school and the team was doing well and I was having a good year, but Coach Lawhead noticed that I was kind of hesitant and doubting myself. Other voices were telling me that I should play harder and be more aggressive. I remember the conversation with Coach Lawhead. His words to me were, "Don't worry about what other people say, just play like Richard Cerrone and have fun." So I did. The second 2 people were my father and Coach Steve Bankson. I wasn't playing much at Baldwin Wallace College during my sophomore year and became discouraged and actually quit the team. My dad thought that it would be better if I finished the season and then decide if I wanted to continue playing. So I asked permission and was able to rejoin the team. Coach Bob Rupert, who was there at the time, ended up leaving BW, after which Steve Bankson came on board. Coach Bankson told me that he'd like to have me to come out for the team, but he's not going to promise me anything, except if I quit, there was no coming back. And I remember thinking, I can deal with Coach Bankson because I always knew exactly where I stood with him. My junior year at BW, we won 22 games and were the Ohio Athletic Conference Northern Division champs. And guess who hit the last second shot to give us that championship? Had I not taken the voice of my father the year before, I would have missed that opportunity. Thanks, Dad. There are many instances where people have overcome seemingly insurmountable odds to reach principled goals or endure difficult circumstances, and sometimes they're very close to us. Linda, my beautiful bride of 29 years, showed me an incredible example of courage on her first wedding anniversary in 1984. At that time, I was in the military during corpsman training, and she was at home, and we were 800 miles apart. I received a call from her informing me that we had lost our first child to a miscarriage. I was ready to fly back home to be with her, but she told me to stay and finish my training because she realized how intense it was. She said that she had family and friends with her and that she'd be fine. I love you, honey. Our youngest daughter, Rebecca, who at 18 years old stands up among her peers defending her faith. She truly lives the words of St. Francis. Preach the gospel at all times, and when necessary, use words. Thanks for your courage, Becca. My mother, who raised 6 children, 1 girl and 5 boys. She is truly a saint. And my father, who was married to her for over 55 years and took care of her during her final days. My brother John, who struggles mightily each day against an increasingly secular culture, doing a heroic job raising godly children without their mother, who was suddenly taken from us all too soon by an impaired motorist. And my best friend, Craig Demmin, who recovered from kidney failure his sophomore year at Admiral King High School to make the varsity basketball team his senior year. Coach Mitch Gillum began what became known as the Craig Demmin Award, given annually to the player who best displayed courage, dedication, and persistence. Thank you all for your examples of courage. I have no regrets athletically. I was blessed with the opportunity to play for 2 of the best coaches at their respective levels, armed with the knowledge that Coach Lawhead and Coach Bankson would have accepted nothing less than my best. We're living in some pretty amazing times these days, times which call for us to give our best. Much of our culture no longer recognizes right and wrong, good and bad, so we need to be out on the court competing, not in the stands spectating. We need to strive for the Craig Demmin Award with courage, dedication, and persistence, knowing that we gave our best in this life so that we can all one day hear from our ultimate coach, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." Amen. Thank you.
Our second inductee from the regular category is Michael Hartman, also a basketball standout. Mike starred scholastically at Lorain High, where he won first team All-Erie Shore Conference, All-Sectional, and all Lorain County honors as both a junior and a senior. In addition, as a senior, he was co-winner of the Lorain County Mr. Basketball Award and recognized as Special Mention All-Ohio. Mike set records for single season and career assists at Lorain High. He was also the 1989 recipient of the J. Ed Ulen Award. With his academic and athletic accomplishments, Mike was presented a full scholarship to play basketball at Division I Niagara University. Although beset with back problems, he received letters all 4 years at Niagara and was selected co-captain his senior year. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Michael Hartman into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
I'm taking your coat. Okay. Congratulations. For you as your friend. Here you go. Thank you. You can just sit there like that.
Thank you. That I remember, the rest I wrote down. Seriously, I want to thank the Hall of Fame. I've been to 6 ceremonies, and the first was 32 years ago when my father was inducted. I was back when my sister won the Ulen Award. I won the Ulen Award. My brother Chris was inducted. And then this past year, the 86 and 87 Lorain High basketball team was enshrined. I enjoy coming back each time and reliving those memories. Those are really good times. I would like to thank my high school and college teammates. I'd like to thank my high school coaches, Coach Falk, Coach Melendez, Coach Hartman, my father, and Coach Dale Reichert, who couldn't be here tonight with us, but I hope he's on the road to recovery and doing well. I also like to thank Jack Armstrong. Jack recruited me to Niagara and later became the head coach of Niagara while I was still there. I'm only halfway through, but kind of lost my place now. Actually, I wanted to get that out so I could read this correctly, just in case I didn't come out right. I especially want to thank my mom and dad for their endless support and encouragement they gave me then and continue to give me today. Thank you. I want to thank my wife, Debbie, who only knew me after my playing days. The first time I ever spoke to her, it was our senior year, and we were in the same class together, and I needed $10 to buy a book for class. I don't think I paid her back, but when we started dating, she wrecked my car, so I think we're even. Am I right? She's right. Okay. Well, that's a true story. I want to thank my daughter Sarah and my son Matt. They still believe many of the stories, true or not, that I share with them today. A few years ago, my wife and I went to Matt's parent-teacher conference. He was 8 or 9 years old. We sit down, and the teacher says, "You know what your son said? He's 8 or 9 years old." No, I don't know what he may have said to you. So he said, "He told me that you were almost famous." I said, "Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. Close enough. Close enough." Tonight, I'm being inducted as a basketball player. However, those who know me well know that my first love was football, and really my only love is my wife, Debbie. My sophomore year in high school, I broke the spinal process off the 5th vertebrae in my neck making a tackle. From that point, I concentrated primarily on basketball. And this is another true story. I remember coming home from practice one day with my dad, who coached. He turns off the radio, and I'm thinking to myself, now what's going to be said? We're coming home, it's quiet. Turns off the radio. He says, "Do you plan on going to college?" Being cold, tired, and hungry, I was more concerned about what I was having for dinner rather than discussing my college plans. I told him yes. He then asked, "How do you plan on paying for it?" That I didn't answer. He says, "You got some options." He says, "First, you can get a job, save your money, and pay your way." He says, "Or you can dedicate yourself to basketball, and somebody will give you a chance in college." Well, I was fortunate enough to earn that scholarship. I figured I had the rest of my life to work, but only a few short years to play ball. Thank you.
Jeff King is a world-class powerlifter. In 1995, he established a world record in the squat of 744 pounds in the Masters 275-pound weight class. Jeff placed first in the 2009 World Championships in York, Pennsylvania, and in that same weight class. He has placed consistently in the top third in the Nationals with 4 first place, 8 second place, and 3 third place finishes between 1988 and 2007. Jeff was ranked in the top 20 in the country in the deadlift from 1981 through 1986. In 1994, he placed first in the National Athletes Strength Association Championships, setting 3 American records in the squat of 628 pounds and a deadlift of 628 pounds and a total weight of 1,588 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jeff King into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Good evening. In anticipation of me being up here and being scared to death, I had a plan. I went to the library and got a book out about inspirational quotes. I memorized a couple as I say them, but my plan should have included a memorization book because I can't remember what I was going to say. Powerlifting is a very underpublicized sport. You don't hear a lot about it. Probably there's people here that don't really know what we do. We squat, bench press, and deadlift, and whoever lifts the most weight wins. It's pretty simple. It's an individual sport, and that's what I liked about it. I didn't have to worry about any teammates or coaches or anything. It was just Jeff lifted weights. Well, now that I've taken off a couple years and gotten older and wiser, I believe maybe I need to reevaluate that, and I had people supporting me through everything that I didn't really realize, and I'd like to take this time and say thank you. I think any success story starts with a good mom and dad story. My mom and dad worked real hard to teach us through the years a lot of life's values. One of them was how to succeed. You know, set a goal, have passion, work hard, fail and get back up again, outwork the other guys. And my brothers and I think all of us learned those lessons. Both of us, I'm sorry, 3 of us learned those lessons. And I think everything that we've accomplished as adults we would attribute to their teachings. We had a head start from them. I think looking back on it, we could all say that we have a life-changing episode, something where you look back and say, boy, that made a difference or whatever. And I had one at an early age. When I was 12 years old, a guy named George Rasinko moved in next door to me. He was a weightlifter. He was the first weightlifter I'd ever seen or heard about. And I don't know why, but it really clicked for me. It's like, man, I want to be like that guy. He's amazing. He's huge and strong and whatever. And he set up a gym in the basement and allowed me to go train with him. His training partners at that time were John Crayley and Jim Burge, and they were equally as impressive. So I was a little 12-year-old. I was down there lifting with them, and I know I was in the way, but they treated me really good. Come to find out, I was so scrawny and weak at 12 that I couldn't even lift really the light weights. And they went out of their way and built me a wooden barbell set. At one point early on, I had the wooden barbell set, and I was down on the beach. We live on 2nd Street by the water there, and I was lifting weights. I was doing a workout. Real proud of myself, real going at it hard, and I look up just in time to see part of my weightlifting set floating away. As I went out to get my weights, I was afraid the neighbors were watching. I said, I hope the neighbors aren't laughing at me. But I stuck with it. I got to lift metal weights in a couple years. A couple years then, George and the guys moved away, and I went to the Lorain Family Y. I took my talents to the Lorain Family Y. And there I met, as I said, it's an underpublicized sport, but I met some really good lifters that made a big difference in my career and helped me to advance. And Lorain has a lot of good lifters, as they have athletes all over, but some of the lifters that really helped me were Steve Linway, Corey Cunningham, Vince Valnucci, Keith Spartano, Joe Matos, Frank Graziano. My favorite time, though, was I lifted with my brothers, Chris and Tim. It was just amazing to be able to do something that I love so much with them, and we trained for a couple of years, and it went real well. Then things, change. People get obligations, or things change. So then I hooked up. I was very lucky to hook up with a couple guys from North Ridgeville, Doug Beach and Tom Kerper, and they helped me for many years. They were very, very good, very supportive. After that, I hooked up with a Tim Judge. Tim is a lifter from Oak Harbor. And he's actually a multi-world record holder, multi-world champion. He was a huge help to me. Currently, I train with Jason Fay and Frank Storch, and a year ago, I was very lucky and happy to hook up with another famous Lorain lifter, Greg Willoughby, who's in the Hall of Fame as a Frank's rec guy, baseball guy. So they support me, and I'm not competing anymore, but I still have goals. I want to work hard and lift more weight. And last but not least, I saved the best for last, my family that supported me all those years, my daughters Stephanie and Betsy. They never knew their dad to be anything other than a power lifter. You know, I started before they were born, and they supported me. And I'm really glad to have this night to share with them because it kind of validates what we accomplished, what we did. My daughters were like man's best friend for many years. They didn't care if I lifted well or not. They just smiled when I came home and loved me, and that was all I needed. But I'd be remiss if I didn't mention their mom. She was amazing for many years. She supported me, and powerlifting is an all-encompassing type sport. She was able to have the meals ready, deal with my highs and lows, take care of me. She was a huge help, and I couldn't have done any of it without her also. So in retrospect, I should change my feeling that it isn't as much an individual sport as I thought. You know, for years, I kind of played that I was Jeff the Viking warrior going off to beat the enemy or something. In reality, I had the easy job. I was lifting weights and doing what I wanted. Everybody else was helping me. I'm going to talk fast right now. I'm going to talk real fast. So this is a good opportunity to say thank you very much. I appreciate it cleaning up without all of you. Thank you.
I would like to thank the committee for putting Jeff so close to me I wasn't troubled by anyone all night long. Our fourth inductee from the regular category is James Stevenson, who not only played 3 sports at Lorain High in the early 1970s, but was a leader in all 3. As a senior, he was selected team captain of the football, basketball, and baseball teams. Jim's leadership extended to all areas of school activities as he was elected a class officer as a senior. In football, Jim was selected first team All-Buckeye Conference linebacker, first team All-County, winner of the Lorain High Danny Award, and was runner-up in the Lorain County Golden Helmet Award balloting. In 1974, he became the first ever winner of the J. Ed Ulen Award. Jim's success continued at the College of Worcester, where he won the John Galbraith Award as the best freshman on the varsity squad and as a senior, Ohio Athletic Conference Player of the Week and All-Conference linebacker. He was also team captain his senior year when he earned his 3rd varsity letter. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome James Stevenson into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Coach Herman, Jimmy, good to see you. It's a pleasure.
'em. Guys, this will be short. I hope you like me. I'm so impressed with the previous speakers. It ain't me. I'm sincerely, dearly honored, and I just want to say thank you a ton. That's it.
Five and a half minutes to spare. Our next inductee from the regular category is Alvin Hennicek, who is recognized as the most outstanding pitching prospects from the Lorain Sandlots. Al, at the age of 20 in 1940, signed a minor league contract with Salem Roanoke of the Class D Virginia League. In 2 seasons there, he compiled a record of 29 wins. He hurled over 200 innings each season. Al then spent 4 years serving our country in the military during World War II. Upon completing his military service, he resumed his baseball career with the Class C team, Raleigh, and then with the Class B team, Evansville, with a 14-6 record. Al posted a 59-25 record the next 3 years at Raleigh and Class B, Pensacola, earning him a promotion in 1950 to a Class A Atlanta Crackers. He retired in 1953 with a career record of 132 wins and a very respectable 3.20 earned run average. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the memory of Alvin Hennicek into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame, and accepting the award on behalf of her deceased father, Kathy Holland.
Thank you. I want to say I'm very thankful to be here to accept this honor for my dad. He had a full life, which included a successful baseball career. He began his baseball career in Lorain and then continued to Raleigh, North Carolina. Thus the accent. Yeah, no. He was dedicated to the sport he loved and was an outstanding pitcher. A few of his many accomplishments include striking out Joe DiMaggio. I thought that was pretty impressive myself. 2 no-hitter games in 1 season in the Carolina League. Held the lowest ERA average in the Carolina League. Won 22 games in Pensacola, Florida, on a team that was voted one of the top 50 teams ever. I was very impressed with all these accomplishments that he had, and have heard through the years more. My 2 brothers know a whole lot more about it because they were in that era, and so they've really been helpful. When he got ill, he was heavily medicated, and oddly enough was still yelling, "Strike him out, strike him out, strike him out." I'll never forget that. After playing in Lorain, he moved to Raleigh, where he met and married his Southern Belle wife, Virginia, and then raised 3 children. I have asked his family, which are here with me tonight, to give me a few words to describe my dad. Mary Alice, his sister, sitting with me, will never forget that he was a lot of fun, a lot of fun. He also thought my nieces and nephews have also given me some words. Non-judgmental, full of personality, unforgettable, lots of character, and looks like Bing Crosby. A lot of people told him that. He thought he was quite the dancer, but this was his idea of dancing. So I do remember that. He tried to teach me that. My brother Jerry, I wanted to mention him. He couldn't be here tonight due to a medical illness, but he was very instrumental in helping me put this all together and bring back a lot of memories for me. I do feel, too, that I need to mention his 2 other sisters, Dory, who is deceased, and Virginia, who has just recently passed away. All his sisters were so proud and supportive of him through his life and baseball career. As for me, I remember that he was kind, enjoyed life, very much to the fullest, treated people fairly, never met a stranger, and adored his family. I also want to thank my future husband, fiance, Bill, for all the teary nights he went through with me putting this information together and remembering all the good times. Thank you, Bill. We are so honored that my dad has been recognized for his great talent. I'm sure if he were here today, he would be so proud to be recognized for the sport that he loved. In the words of my dad, next case. Thank you.
The final inductee from the regular category is Michael Mishak, who won 8 letters at Lorain High School playing football, basketball, and baseball. In football, Mike was a standout two-way starter on the 1958 and 59 Steelman squad that secured a tri-championship in the Buckeye Conference. He excelled as an offensive end, linebacker, and as the team's punter. During that banner senior season, Mike caught 16 passes for 351 yards and 3 touchdowns. His performances at linebacker and defensive end were major factors in Lorain High's defensive success. Mike's punting average was an impressive 43 yards. He won many postseason honors, including United Press First Team All-Ohio. After graduation, Mike was accorded a full scholarship to play football at Division I University of Detroit, where he continued his excellent play as offensive end, punter, and kicker. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Michael Mishak into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Uh-oh. Under the gun already, huh? Short and sweet. I would like to thank the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame Committee for selecting me into the Hall of Fame. It's both an honor and a privilege. I would like to thank my childhood sweetheart who made the scrapbook and kept all the newspaper articles to make my nomination possible. She is still my sweetheart after 49 years together. Without my family, caring coaches, good friends on the teams I played on, and the support of the people in the stands, I would not be here today. Thanks especially to Coach Tony Mesco and to my teammates Ken Gerhardt and Ron Sauer. Thank you very much.
Inductees now from the special category are those individuals who have contributed to the promotion of sports by providing leadership, coaching, or other assistance to the performing athletes. The first inductee from the special category is Nancy Demansky Bauer, who has had an accomplished career as an athlete, a teacher, coach, and sports official. High school sports for girls still had not been established when Nancy attended Admiral King High School, but she won a 3-state invitational title in roller skating. At Miami University of Ohio, Nancy was a member of the college's inaugural intercollegiate softball and volleyball teams. She played and coached fast and slow pitch softball for over 40 years with numerous honors and championships. As a teacher at Lorain High, she was instrumental in establishing a girls' track team, which was the first female interscholastic team in Lorain City schools, as well as gymnastics and softball teams. She has officiated high school volleyball for over 35 years, most noteworthy at state high school tournaments, semifinals, and championship matches. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nancy Domansky-Bauer into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
His license, Nancy. While your fan club
I'll hold it for you, Nancy.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everybody. I wrote this thing about 8 times the last 2 weeks, and I decided, you know, why am I doing this? The newspaper article comes out, there's a plaque, there's a program, it tells you everything. What it doesn't tell you is that the most satisfying thing I ever did was coach those kids in 1970 at Lorain High School. And some of them are sitting over there. Those kids allowed me to be part of their lives, and they helped me and fired me up every time someone told me no. There was no Title IX. The boys got everything and the girls sat back and watched. Not acceptable. I needed an ally to help me, and that ally ended up being Phil Ryan, principal of Lorain High School. I threw out the ideas. He ran interference. Sometimes we got squashed. Sometimes we just kept going and did what we had to do. It was almost like negotiating with the UN. I even had to promise sometimes with a wink and my fingers behind the back just to get something done. One day I was coaching track, or not track, but hurdles behind the building. And all of a sudden I heard this noise coming down the steps from the Board of Education. It was Ed Siniger, athletic director. And he's yelling, "Miss Domansky, girls don't do that! Please stop, stop!" I turned around and looked, I said, "Yes, sir, I'll never do it again." I winked to my hurdler, sent her inside, went and talked to Ryan. Ryan said, "Next time that happens, put that hurdle in the hallway and make sure that kid doesn't run into the damn wall." I declined all my coaching salaries for the first year, and I actually bought the uniforms for the team. I owned all the softball, track, and trampoline team uniforms. I felt like I was part of Comeyer's. But I had to eliminate any excuses they were going to give me about not having enough money. I never, believe it or not, never complained when they didn't do what they were supposed to do, the administration. I had a trampoline team, and I had kids that performed throughout the county, and they were supposed to transport the trampoline. Someday they'd call me up the day before and say, "Domansky, we can't make it because we need the truck." Well, I couldn't cancel that show, so I called my dad up, and I looked at Mr. Bachelor Bauer at the time and asked him if he could help move that trampoline, which they did. The system was supposed to grade and line the diamonds at Lakeview Park for my softball team. Sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't. So I would leave at lunchtime and I'd go check out the situation. If it wasn't lined, I called my dad, who was the superintendent of traffic safety. That's the guy that paints the lines down the center of the road. And he would bring a lawnmower, and he would cut the grass down one foul line, cut the grass down the other foul line, start the truck at the home plate, and drive it all the way to the outfield. Sometimes we had yellow paint, sometimes we had white. Assistant coaches? No, there were no assistant coaches, not for me. If I wanted something for track, I used to talk to Doug Thompson or Gene Kennedy. If I wanted something for softball, thank God I knew what I was talking about. But I did use my own money, and I paid 2 girls that I played softball with, Rosie Nowak and Patty Moore. They helped. Softball and track were at different times of the year when we first started. Track, or softball was the beginning of the year, track was at springtime. As time went on, they both ended up together. And I coached both together. And the kids played together. So we went from one game to the next game to the next game to the next game. And they were really good because I was pregnant at the time, so I had a bunch of little mamas on my hands. I delivered Kelly on a Monday, got out of the hospital on a Friday, went to the track meet at noon on that day, and told the kids, if you can't change diapers or bottle feed that kid, you can't run. Now, gymnastics was the biggest problem because there was a liability issue, and they kept telling me, no, you can't compete, somebody's going to get hurt. But for some reason, they decided to buy the equipment and give me the uniforms. They said you could have a show. Duh. A show? Okay. Well, we practiced 6:30 in the morning and sometimes 7 o'clock at night because we had to go around the schedule of the boys. When we were ready to put the show on, they said, sorry, but you can't charge admission. Okay. We had 500 people show up, and those kids put on one hell of a show. Next year, we were in competition. Title IX finally made its way around, and there were more coaches and more sports, and it was time for me to do something else, like watch my child grow up. So in 1980, I left the high school and went down to the elementary level and spent more time coaching the women's sport of softball and officiating. I did have to repay Bauer, though. At the time, he was a freshman football coach with Bill Provident, and I was a cheerleading advisor, and they said, well, since you have to be at the games anyway, why don't you just video our games? And I said, well, how hard can that be? Can that be? But they didn't tell me I had to go across the street, get a ladder, climb up to the roof of this house, sit there, shimmy back and forth, videotaping their games while the butts on my pants were wearing out. But I did it every week just for the program, and I married him to stop the abuse. Thanks to everybody who contributed to this evening for me tonight, and thanks to all those people that helped me to succeed. I really wish my dad Ray was here, and Phil Ryan, and my grandfather Earl Welsh. They've all since passed away. My grandfather used to take me to games when I was little, and as I grew up and played, he followed me. But he used to always say, whatever you do, care about it. Well, I hope that I made everybody proud. And I know that all 3 of them are sitting up there with Ed, just ragging his butt, saying, yes, Mr. Siniger, girls do that, and very well.
As the late and great Paul Harvey would oftentimes say, thank you for the rest of the story. Our final inductee from the special category is John Tomaszewski, who accomplished much as an athlete and coach. As a football player at Admiral King High School, John was named to the All-Buckeye Conference team on defense and was honorable mention All-Ohio. In wrestling, he was co-captain as a senior. He continued in both sports at Heidelberg College, plus was a member of the golf team, earning a total of 6 letters in those sports in college. John began his coaching career in 1970. He was rewarded for his years as a valued assistant by being promoted to head coach at Tiffin Columbian High School in 1987. That was head football coach, and promptly led the Tornadoes to an undefeated regular season and a berth in the postseason playoffs. He was selected UPI's Division II Coach of the Year. In his 6-year tenure as head football coach at Columbian, John's teams won 3 conference championships and went to the playoffs twice. In his 24 years as head wrestling coach at Tiffin Columbian, John's teams enjoyed 2 undefeated seasons and produced 7 state placers. He was the originator and director of the well-regarded Wendy's Invitational Wrestling Tournament for 18 years. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Tomaszewski into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Good evening. I really got set up. Following Nancy, that's not going to be easy. She did really, really well, like everybody else. And I'm really impressed with all this. This has got to be a major social event in Lorain. And there's a lot of humor here, a lot of things. It's fun being a part of this, and I'm excited about it. First off, what I want to do is congratulate all of the inductees for the class of 2012. They've been very distinguished. I feel very honored to be mentioned in their company. Number 2, what I want to do is thank my family for making the application that allowed me to actually be here and make it tonight. And number 3 is the committee here, which has actually afforded me the opportunity to talk to people and explain who was instrumental and respect those people for what they did for me. And that's really what I'd like to do tonight. I spent 42 years in public and private education, and athletics was a very huge and significant part of all of that. I was an English teacher, I was a coach, I was an administrator, I was an adjunct professor, I was a mentor, I was an educational consultant. But in all of those varied job descriptions, I also was very close and enjoyed coaching people, and athletics has always been a very huge and significant part of my life, okay? There are people that led me in the direction in my coaching and teaching, and one of them is here tonight, Ed Manili. He's my junior English teacher at Lorain Admiral King. He became a role model for a 15-year-old kid my junior year, and I later became an English teacher, and I owe a lot of that to him and what he did and thought and saw in me as an individual, and I appreciate that. I also had a great coach, and that was Pete Risen. Pete Risen was a lot like my father. He's very demanding. He was very honest. You knew where you stood with him. If he took a liking to you, it was great, and it was usually football oriented. And because of that, I got into coaching, and he actually helped me get into college. And so I'm very grateful to Pete. Pete was a great man. I became a very good friend of his. I coached for him, and I used him as a mentor throughout my coaching career. Coaching for me was not just winning championships. We were successful. I was in that way. But those are the very noticeable things that you see in a football game and at the end of a season. But there's a lot of other small, or maybe, I don't want to use the word insignificant, but also important. Those people that don't have quite the skill set, but they're doing the best they possibly can. And when you work with people, young kids like I did for 42 years, you get to appreciate and you see things that they do that you know that they're grateful for what you did for them. And I will always remember that as my involvement in athletics, because that's really what I received when I started out. There's an old adage that really kind of fits me pretty well. It's called, "You can take the boy out of the neighborhood, but you can't take the neighborhood out of the boy." Actually, I became the beneficiary of what that means. Born and raised and grew up there on 1620 West 21st Street was actually a godsend for me, because what I learned through the foundation of a very unique family. I had 4 brothers, and we managed to make it, okay? But it was a very small house, and we survived, and we did the best we could with what we had. My father worked very hard. He taught all of us, my 4 brothers and myself, what a work ethic was. You do the job, you do it right, and you go from there. My mother was very unique in her own right. They both made huge sacrifices for our family. She taught us about mental toughness. She taught us not to give up. I don't think I missed maybe 1 or 2 days in 4 years of high school. We got sick, but you know what? The expectation was you get out and you do what you're supposed to do. These are valuable things that I grew up with. I had 4 brothers, Bob, Ray, Mark, Terry. We competed, and I learned from them what competition was. Every day, and maybe the word competition isn't necessarily the right word. We got along fairly well, but we competed. It was fun. It was fun winning, playing outside, doing things, whatever it was. But we hated losing. In fact, I didn't start playing football in high school until I was a sophomore. And actually, the only reason I went out is because I could hit my older brother, and it was legal to do it. Other people that were instrumental, obviously, in my own career, were my own immediate family, okay? And with the birth of my 2 sons, Alexius and Maxim, then I learned to handle responsibilities and wanted to become the best father I possibly could. My wife, Jane, she was with me every step of the way in all the things that I did. She was the one that helped assist me in lesson planning. She's the one who made the practice schedule out and also organized the game plans. Hell, she's the one that ought to be up here instead of me, because I just executed what she did, okay? In conclusion, I want to say that who we are and what we are is really instrumental in what we become. And for me, that's Lorain, Ohio. And I'm thankful that I was born and raised here. Thank you.
By the way, all that extra time that you allotted, Jim, they're making good use of it. Okay.
How you like me now?
I love you. Tonight we honor the Lorain Catholic 1994 volleyball team. Before proceeding with the introductions and biography, we invite all team members to please come forward quietly to the front of the dais for the presentations. In the team category, the 1994 Lorain Catholic volleyball team rates as the greatest in school history. The Lady Spartans enjoyed an undefeated regular season with a record of 20-0. The streak continued in the sectional with a win over Hillsdale, in the district with victories over Mogador and Dalton, in the regionals with triumphs over Ashtabula St. John's and Wyndham, sending them to the state Final Four. In the semifinals, Lorain Catholic defeated Milford Center Fairbanks in the Division IV state championship match. The Lady Spartans lost for the first and the only time as St. Henry won the title. Team keys for Lorain Catholic, with its tremendous 25-1 record, were a potent offense, excellent defense, consistent serving, intelligent play, and being blessed with outstanding players, 3 of whom went on to play Division I volleyball in college. Accepting the commemorative plaque will be Coach Kathleen McConnell. Coach McConnell will provide remarks to acknowledge the honor. Coach McConnell will introduce all the players present. President Sommers, assisted by committee member Barb McConaughey, will congratulate and present a commemorative certificate to each team member as they are introduced. And we ask that you please hold your applause until all players have been introduced. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Lorain Catholic 1994 volleyball team into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you. On behalf of the volleyball team, I would like to thank the members of the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame for this very special honor, especially considering that this is the first girls' high school team to be inducted. It's quite an honor. At this time, I'd like to introduce the team members. I would like to let you know that the girls excelled not only on the court, but in the classroom as well. All members of the squad qualified for the county all-academic team. 3-year letter winners, seniors, Meredith Furlick, Bingham. Meredith was captain, Division IV Player of the Year in District 3, selected to the state all-star team, runner-up for Lorain County Miss Volleyball, first team all-county, first team all-district her junior and senior year, played Division I college at Tennessee Tech, and is one of the best all-round volleyball players in Lorain Catholic history. She can fight her sister Marin for that honor. Angie Chet Caffarel. She was captain, first team all-county, first team all-district, junior and senior year, one of the smartest players on the court, and went on to coach at Lorain Catholic and Vermillion High School. Kim Seal Duval, captain, first team all-county, first team all-district, her junior and senior year. Tough as nails, 5'4" setter. Kim would run through a brick wall to chase down a volleyball. She was the quarterback of our team and ran our 5-1 quick offense. 2-year letter winners, Becky Whitehead-Berry, another 5'4" dynamo. She had a tough topspin serve and was a back row defensive specialist. She was second team all-county. Kristen Betka Lehman, she was a quiet and steadying influence on the team, and she really stepped up her game her senior year and had a big impact in many of our matches. Kristen was also second team all-county. Christy Francis Vernon, back row specialist and server, another player who really stepped up her game when we needed it at the service line or in serve reception. 2 seniors who could not be here this evening, but were also invaluable to the team, were Kelly Dankulik Bowers and Kim Uline Ortmayer. Kelly was an all-round starter, played all 6 positions on the court, and Kim was captain, back row server, and defensive specialist. First-year letter winners and our only junior on the team, Megan Centers Brazel. I said that wrong, didn't I? These married names are getting to me. The only junior on the team, she was our backup setter, and she could play any position on the court. And sophomores, we had 3 talented, very athletic sophomores on the team. Alicia Chet, at 6'1", Alicia was able to give us an even more imposing front row and helped us with our right side blocking. Not here tonight, Stephanie Bush Warren, another 6-foot middle hitter, really came into her own during tournament time. She showed flashes of the type of player that she would become the next 2 years. Stephanie was first team all-county and first team all-district as a sophomore. And finally, Sarah Abrahamowitz DeFlippo, another sophomore with great athletic ability that if you needed her, she could step into any positions. I'd also like to say congratulations to Kim Duval, Kim Ortmeyer, Angie Caffarel, Stephanie Warren on their recent additions to little baby Spartans to our Spartan family. Little girls. And finally, Nick Molnar, who was our JV and assistant varsity coach, who was invaluable as well during the season. During the summer of before our 1994 season, the team set goals for the upcoming season. They were go further in the tournament than the previous year, which was the district finals. As always, beat Elyria Catholic. And finally, a banner for the volleyball program to hang in the Lorain Catholic Gym. I believe the keys to obtaining these goals were the objectives were clear and all the girls were on board. Discipline. Every practice was viewed as an opportunity to get better, and they pushed each other. They were smart, they knew the game well, and they knew how to attack the opponent's weaknesses. Great teamwork. Each player accepted her role. They supported each other. I would also like to include the parents as far as the great teamwork, who are always 100% behind the team and the coaches. The team also overcame obstacles. Even the best laid plans don't account for obstacles that happen during the season, and we had a few. Angie, who was already playing with a torn ACL, had a childhood illness come back, which resulted in her only playing at about 50% of her physical ability. In true Spartan determination, it did not stop Angie. She was going to keep playing. She had invested too much blood, sweat, and tears to give up. And finally, Kelly, who was a starter and played all 6 positions on the court, broke her elbow the 6th game into the season. Both injuries could have derailed the team and the goals that were set. But the team ended up even stronger for it. As other team members stepped up their game, it would not let the team down. The 1994 Spartans blew through the regular season, never losing a game in the best-of-3 format, and were 17-0 with 2 regular season games remaining. EC, who we defeated earlier in the season, was one of those teams. They were our last big hurdle to a perfect season. In typical LCEC fashion, the EC gym was packed and rowdy, and we proceeded to lose the first game 13-15. This was our first game loss all season. We hear the chants of overrated, and the pressure was on. We're faced with having to win the next 2 games to win the match and stay undefeated against EC and in their gym. The girls regrouped and won the second game 15-8 and battled to win the third game 15-11. We go 18-0 and the celebration begins on the Elyria Catholic Court. In the midst of the celebration, I hear the clanging of a bell. I turn to see what that noise was, and I see senior captain Meredith Furlick on the shoulders of 6-foot sophomore Stephanie Bush in the upper deck of EC. Meredith has a huge smile on her face, and she's ringing the Elyria Catholic victory bell. Well, needless to say, they always have a guard standing by that bell. It's gone. They took it away. Anytime we went back to play, they always had someone standing by that bell. Meredith. The team finished the regular season at 19-0 and moved on to the sectionals, districts, and regionals. And it went that fast. The team blew through the competition again and won each match in 2 games. It was on to state. The state semifinal match against Fairbanks was an excellent match between 2 evenly matched teams, with a lot of long rallies, which we weren't used to. We won the first game 15-11, lost the second game 14-16, and eventually took the third game 15-12. The final game ended about 10:15 at night, and the team was exhausted. The winning kill was made by Kelly, who had broken her elbow earlier in the season and had just returned to the team and was not yet 100%. It was an off-speed shot that seemed like it was never going to land in the open spot on the court, but it finally did. I remember the feeling of relief, like it was yesterday. The game against St. Henry just seemed like a blur. We weren't on top of our game. They had 2 tall middle hitters, and we had not faced that type of height or athleticism all year. We lost in 2 games, 8-15 and 6-15. The Lorain Catholic Spartan volleyball team accomplished all of their goals and then some. A school record number of wins, district, regional titles, a win in the state semifinal, and an appearance in the state finals, and most importantly, a banner for the gym. It was difficult to think that this team might be forgotten when Lorain Catholic High School closed, and the banner was no longer hanging proudly on the wall. Thank you to the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame for inducting this special team into the Hall of Fame. Now they will be remembered forever as one of the greatest teams ever in Lorain sports history. Thank you.
Our second inductee in the team category is the 1984-85 Lorain Catholic boys basketball team that made it all the way to the state Final Four in Columbus. During the regular season, the Spartans won their fourth straight Erie Coast Conference championship. They finished the regular campaign 17-3, with all of the setbacks coming at the buzzer. In the postseason, Lorain Catholic won its fourth consecutive sectional and district championships, with the victory over Keystone sending them to the regionals, where they ousted Oregon Cardinal Stritch, then high-scoring Bellevue 94-76 to earn the trip to state. In the semifinals in Columbus, the Spartans gave eventual state champion Youngstown Wren a great battle before falling 69-64. Lorain Catholic finished the season with a 23-4 record and was recognized with numerous county, district, and state honors. Accepting the commemorative plaque will be Coach Jim Lawhead. Coach Lawhead will provide remarks to acknowledge the honor. President Summers, assisted by committee member Keith Walters, will congratulate and present a commemorative certificate to each team member as they are introduced. Please hold your applause until all players have been introduced. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Lorain Catholic 1984-85 basketball team into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
I know you've got one of these, but you can have another.
Thank you. Actually, Ron, going back to Stevenson's extra time, I was outside with him during the waiting for dinner, and he said, I'm going to be really short. Coach, you can have my 5.5 minutes. And then these two guys go and take them. I don't get it. Thank you and good evening. I would like to extend our congratulations to the other honorees at the head table, and most especially to Coach McConnell and the Spartan ladies of 1993-94. Well done. They were an outstanding team. And I was the one that had to answer for them ringing that damn bell. But I thought it was probably one of the most interesting times that we ever spent in the Coliseum. And Richard, thank you for the kind words. Not only were you a great player, a great All-State player, you were a great leader and a fine young man, and I'll tell you what, I still admire you, and you've done really well with your family all these years. Congratulations, Richard. Being a charter member of this organization, past president and MC, and an inductee as well, it is always a thrill to be here at this great banquet. It's just unbelievable. My wife, Barbara, 50 years of banquets, a lot of banquet food in those 50 years. Nearly 40 years of team dinners, especially with these guys, it was a lot of fun. Thank you, honey, and I love you. Appreciate all your help and support. And I certainly know that the president of this organization appreciated your help with the seating chart. There's an old English proverb that reads, "Good things come to those who wait." So it took a while, boys, but here we are. And it's well-deserved, and it's great to see all 12 of you here. I only wish we could have had all 12 at practice all the time. And in class all the time. I'm kidding. They were always there for us. I congratulate you, and I still stand in awe of you. You are just an outstanding group of people. I am most honored and humbled to have been so fortunate to have been your coach. And I've been blessed to have been able to be here tonight, to be able to share this evening with all of you. A senior class that took LC to 4 straight Sweet 16s and 4 straight 20-win seasons. A senior class that was multi-talented and yet very team-oriented. A senior class that led by example, intense and passionate, and yet fun-loving. A junior class that was young and enthusiastic and supportive. And it was no picnic going against Wilson and Owens every day in practice. And the other guys, Timmy Spollitt, you wouldn't want to rebound against him and be defended by Timmy Elwell and rebounded against with Jimmy McConnell. Those were the starters, but everybody played a part. Everybody played their role. It was an experience, not without controversy and not without heartbreak. If not for 3 buzzer shots, we would have been undefeated. 3 losses by a total of 5 points. We had 2 great All-State players. First-team Hall of Famer Paul Wilson, who was inducted here a few years ago. Third-teamer and 4-year starter Frank Owens. And yet, we were the consummate team. They were consummate team players. It was interesting how everybody played so well together. They were unselfish, they were talented, they were intense, they were passionate, and yet fun-loving. They loved to practice, believe it or not. They did, well, other than the line drills probably, I don't know. And they loved being together. The great games that we played, 2 wins over EC, 3 wins over Elyria West. We split with Southview. They played us really tough. We beat them at their place, they beat it at our place. 3 wins over Elyria West. We were able to win the Erie Coast Conference, the sectional, and the district. And we finally got to the regionals. But we had got to the regionals 3 straight times, and we had never been able to get over the hump. Well, this time we played against Oregon Cardinal Stritch. We were down at half. We struggled. We came back, and we won the game only to face a very brilliant, high-scoring Bellevue team. But that night, we were not to be denied. We played a great basketball game. We scored in the 90s, they scored in the 70s. It was up and down, it was a shootout, it was a great game. And that night, Paul Wilson scored 46 points. Not that the other guys didn't contribute, because they did, but 46 points in a regional final that set the record at the time at the Toledo Fieldhouse. I remember in the 4th quarter, they all got together at the, we're only up 5-6 minutes to go. And I says, they can't stop Paul. They're tired. They went to his zone. They're coming out far, covering the outside shots. And I'll tell you what, get the ball to Paul. And Frank on the point and Timmy on the wing got the ball to Paul. And I think he scored the last 18 out of our last 20 points, and we were on to Columbus. And that was a great, great performance. We didn't win in Columbus, but I'll tell you what, we got there. And there's only, and my memory serves me right, only 5 Lorain teams that have got to Columbus, basketball, boys basketball, that's got to Columbus in the history of Lorain since that 1923 Lorain High team won the state championship. But that was like almost in another century, all right? Well, it wasn't another century. I don't know, I can't keep having all that. You came to our home, you came to our team dinners, you were like our family. Did you turn the shot clock off?
Never started, I knew.
You never knew the shot, oh, you didn't turn the shot, oh, good. I was afraid that buzzer was gonna ring. But I got more time because I introduced people, right?
Be my guest.
Thanks. I don't think, am I going over time? Good. Sit back and relax. Like Jimmy V said, who the hell cares? I have a heart attack, cancer. I'm not going anywhere right now. Paul, you said you were going to come up and say 30 seconds. And then we'll introduce the guys and we'll go party at my house.
I was inducted in 2006, and at that time, I didn't get the opportunity to thank my teammates. These guys went at me every day. They didn't back down, and they worked very hard. They did not get the publicity that Frank and I did receive. And as far as another person on this team that I really want to thank is Frank Owens. Pound for pound, I want to say the best athlete to ever come out of Lorain. I don't care if it was basketball, baseball, football, track, kickball, it didn't matter. Hands down, that was my guy. He always had my back, and he was one of the main reasons that I was inducted in 2006. And as far as like the other guys, they did not get the publicity that they deserve, and today they get the publicity by being inducted to the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
I'd like to introduce each member of the team. Senior Frank Owens, our passionate and intense leader, third-team All-State, great all-around player, as Paul said, second all-time scorer, played in 101 games. He started as a freshman, only, I believe, 2 or 3 players in the history of the state of Ohio have played in over 100 games, and Frank is one of them. Paul Wilson. You've already heard from Paul, Hall of Famer, great young man, great speaker, great friend. Timmy Spallage, I'll tell you, senior Timmy Spallage, he was the fiery inside rebounder of our team, the defender, and yet still scored double figures in 24 of 27 games, averaged over 14 points a game. Timmy Spallage was a warrior in the paint. He was one tough kid. Timmy Elwell. Timmy Elwell was the off guard. You didn't know he was there because Frank was there, but I'll tell you what, a great defender, a great playmaker. In the district, Timmy came up. He wasn't a scorer. He didn't average 10 points a game, but he scored 20 points against Olmsted Falls in the district and really was a key in that victory. Senior Louis Kleinar. Louis didn't get to play a whole lot. He had a bad knee, but he stuck it out with us. He was a great young man. He worked hard, and he probably got in a state final game. Louis was a great guy. I love Louis. The juniors, Jimmy McConnell was a starter. 6'3" junior starter. Smooth, talented, great defender, outstanding rebounder, fine young man. Had a great senior year. David Now, the tallest member of the team at 6'8". David Now played a lot. Played off and on. He did a great job for us. David Now Jr. Tony Taloni at 5'8", backup guard. Tony was famous for waving the towel on the bench. He was our greatest. No, I mean, this team, you need 12 guys or 10 guys. And, you know, you need supportive guys on the bench, and he was that. Roy Haas. Roy was a football player, but I'll tell you what, the funniest guy in the world, until my son Jason, he's pretty funny. Roy Haas kept us laughing all the time. And you can see he's a big guy, you know, and he went toe-to-toe with the guys all the time. But I love Roy, he's just so funny. Matt Lawhead was great to have, one of my 3 sons that played for us, get on a team that went to the state tournament. Matt, congratulations. Chris Oleko follows his father, the mayor, into the Hall of Fame. All right, Chris. Backup guard. Steve Glosser. Steve Glosser was a fine wingman, a good shooter, and he played a lot, and he did a great job for us. Ken Pogachar was passing out certificates. He was my JV coach and assistant. I taught him in high school, even though he looks older than me. Except he walks Lakeview Park every day, and he didn't get the heart attack, I did. Ken, thank you for your long-time loyalty. You know, we're good friends, and we had a great, great time together. And the 2 ball boys, I don't know if Jason and Mark are up there, but how was it, Jason Lawhead, son of the coach, Mark Pogachar, son of the coach, how great is it to be 11 years old and be able to sit on the bench at St. John's Arena and, you know, give water bottles. Now, tonight he's probably going to have to go get beers, but, you know, in those days, they had a great time. Lorain Catholic, as Kathy said, in closing, Lorain Catholic is closed. But I'll tell you what, the girls volleyball team, this basketball team, Richard Cerrone, and the others, the fans, okay, the fans and the others that supported us over the years will remain, people will still remember Lorain Catholic. I was remiss in not mentioning my family. There's a Lawhead family table over there. My daughters, my sons, they came from California, they came from Alabama, they came from Indiana. I don't know where the hell else they came from, but we got so many kids I can't keep track of them. Thank you very much. God bless you. I appreciate going overtime.
Okay, Jim. At this time, we would like to handle the J.Ed Ulen Awards. And to do that, we welcome to the microphone WEOL's Tim Alcorn.
Thank you, Ron. Congratulations to all of the inductees. And of course, as we honor the past tonight, we also honor the present with the J.Ed Ulen Awards. By the way, Ron, great job here tonight following Joe Tate. It cannot be easy following Joe Tate. Must be a real challenge to follow Joe Tate. Of course, I would know nothing about that, but you have done a great job. Outstanding. And it is now time to present the J.Ed Ulen Awards. So if we could have the first group make their way forward, that is the two young ladies that have been nominated for the J.Ed Ulen Awards. And of course, the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame annually honors the memory of J.Ed Ulen, one of the founding members of the Hall of Fame, by presenting scholarship awards to the outstanding senior male and senior female student athletes nominated by the participating schools. Criteria for judging includes class rank and GPA, athletic achievements and community service or extracurricular activities, all of which have equal value. Secret ballot voting by the committee determines the two winners of the $1,000 scholarship awards, with the runner-up nominees each receiving a $500 grant to the college of their choice. The Lorain Sports Hall of Fame gratefully acknowledges the financial grant received from the Lakeland Healthcare Corporation Board of Directors to assist in funding the scholarship awards. The introductions. I lost my place there for a minute. I'm used to ad-libbing on the radio. The introductions to follow for the nominees only include selective accomplishments for brevity of the program. We suggest that you read the complete biography for these outstanding nominees, which can be found on pages 36 and 37 in your program book. And now we are ready to proceed with the two female nominees, and they are cousins. They are cousins. First, introducing to you from Lorain High School, Brianna Fortney. Brianna Fortney has a class rank of number 2 out of 475 with a 4.75 weighted GPA. Her activities include president of the National Honor Society as well as volunteer athletic trainer. Sports for Brianna Fortney include basketball, a 4-year varsity letter, basketball team captain junior and senior year, as well as all district special mention. Her community service includes a levy campaign volunteer and a basketball camp counselor, and her postgraduate plans include to attend the University of Brockport to study athletic training and play basketball. From Lorain High, the nominee for the Lady Titans, Brianna Fortney. 'Cause 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 And the J. Ed Uland nominee from Clearview High School is Kelsey Fortney. Kelsey's class rank is number 12 out of 145 with a 4.01 GPA. Her activities include Treasurer of National Honor Society as well as Youth for Youth. Sports include lettering in 2 sports, volleyball and basketball. She was the volleyball team captain for 3 years, and Kelsey was All-Ohio Volleyball Honorable Mention. Her postgraduate plans include considering attending Ohio Dominican University, where she intends to major in special education and play volleyball. The nominee from Clearview High School is Kelsey Fortney. And the 2012 J. Ed Uland Award winner for the females is Fortney. Kelsey Fortney from Clearview High School.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you. I know I'm not going to top any of these speeches up here, but I'll just make it short and sweet. I would like to thank everyone at Clearview High School, including coaches, teachers, administration, all my teammates. You guys have been great throughout my past 4 years. But most importantly, I would like to thank my parents for driving me back and forth to practices, helping me on and off the court, and always pushing me to do my best. Thank you, and I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Kelsey. And if we could now have the 2 male nominees for the J. Ed Uland Award make their way forward. So ladies and gentlemen, let us now introduce to you these 2 outstanding gentlemen who have been nominated for the J. Ed Uland Award. And we will begin with Colin Bryan from Lorain High School. Colin is ranked 16th in his class out of 436 students with a 4.453 weighted GPA. Colin's activities include National Honor Society, Student Council, as well as the Boys and Girls Club Youth Mentoring Program. Colin has lettered in 3 sports, football for 3 years, baseball for 4 years, as well as swimming for 2 years. He was All-District Football Honorable Mention, as well as All-District Baseball Honorable Mention. His community activities include American Cancer Society volunteer, as well as a Boys and Girls Club tutor. Colin's postgraduate plans: he is committed to Lake Erie College to play football, and he will major in pre-med. Ladies and gentlemen, the J. Ed Uland nominee from Lorain High School is Colin Bryan. And now our nominee for Clearview High School, Mr. Josh Molina. Josh's class rank is number 6 out of 145 with a 4.089 GPA. His activities include academic excellent role, 11 quarters at Clearview. He's a member of Student Council and a member of Youth for Youth. Sports for Josh Molina at Clearview include lettering in 2 sports, football and basketball. He was captain of the football and basketball teams, and he was also all Lorain County football first team. Community activities for Josh include community outreach with House of Praise Church, and his postgraduate plans are to become a Buckeye, attend The Ohio State University. The nominee from Clearview High School for the J. Ed Uland Award is Josh Molina. And ladies and gentlemen, the 2012 J. Ed Uland Award for the gentleman will go to Colin Bryan of Lorain High School.
First off, I would like to thank the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame Committee for awarding me the prestigious J. Ed Uland Award. I would also like to thank my family for supporting me on the field and in the classroom. Thank you to all of my teachers and coaches for making me a successful student and athlete. There's one particular person here tonight who is a big influence and mentor to me, and that is Jeremy Wilt. Not many people know this, but Coach Wilt is the only coach who stuck around all 4 years at Lorain High School and Admiral King to be a part of my senior class because of his love for us and Lorain. Thank you, Coach Wilt. Last but not least, thank you to all of my teammates. The J. Ed Uland Award will most definitely help me to pursue my dream as a student athlete at Lake Erie College. Thank you to all in attendance tonight, and God bless.
Thank you, Tim, and thank you for the kind words. My favorite situation of following Joe Tate was back when we both were at 3WE, and during the day baseball games, I would follow him into the radio booth at the old municipal stadium so I could partake in free hot dogs, free peanuts, and free beer. Thank you. We have 7 athletes in Lorain who became all-state. And to recognize them and give them the honors, we again introduce WEOL's Jim Allen.
Thank you, Ron. The Lorain Sports Hall of Fame is pleased to congratulate those individuals whose athletic achievements have been recognized with special honors and awards. Tonight, we recognize 7 individuals who have attained All-Ohio honors for their performances the past sports season. We suggest that you refer to pages 38 and 39 of the program book for a complete listing of their accomplishments. The first player is Matt Jordan, representing Clearview High School. Was named to the Division IV All-Ohio football team. This plaque is presented in recognition of his honor. Is Matt here tonight? I don't think he was. So we'll honor anyway. Congratulations to Matt Jordan.
He's not here.
The next athlete is Ian Meslak, representing Clearview High School. Ian was named for the 2nd consecutive year to the Division II All-Ohio baseball first team. This plaque is presented in recognition of this honor. Ian couldn't be with us tonight. He's at Ohio University, where he is a member of the baseball team. Here to accept his award is his great-grandmother, Virginia Bigrig. Ian, by the way, will be playing with our own Lorain County Ironmen at the Pipe Yard all summer long, so you'll have plenty of chances to see Ian this summer. Now, Nancy Bauer has to be extremely pleased because the next honored individuals are all female. And if Nancy didn't get started, these young ladies would not be standing in front of you tonight. First is Alicia Arnold, representing Lorain High School. She earned Division I All-Ohio honors in track through her 6th place finish in the 200-meter dash at the state track meet. This plaque is presented in recognition of this honor. Alicia Arnold. Melody Ferris, representing Lorain High School. Melody earned Division I All-Ohio honors for a 2nd consecutive year with her performances at the state track meet. She had a 2nd place finish in the 300-meter hurdles and a 5th place finish in the 100-meter hurdles. This plaque is presented in recognition of this honor. Melody Ferris. And Nancy, something that's happened maybe once or twice since you started female sports in the city of Lorain. Melody, I'm very proud to announce, is ranked #1 in the entire state of Ohio in the hurdles this season. Shaniqua Ogle, representing Lorain High School, earned Division I All-Ohio honors for a 2nd consecutive year through her 3rd place finish in shot put at the state track meet. This plaque is presented in recognition of this honor. Shaniqua is at Bowling Green, where she was a member of the Falcon varsity women's basketball team, a very good one this year, and could not be with us She's at BG studying very hard because she was a Uland nominee last year, showing that she's also very good in the classroom. Shaniqua Ogle, we think of you anyway. Now the Lorain High School 4x100 meter relay team earned Division I All-Ohio honors through their third place finish at the state track meet. Members of the team are Melody Ferris, Tiara Ammons, Alicia Arnold, and Adreja Dirmas. Yes, Tink. This plaque is presented in recognition of this honor. The Lorain High School 4x100 meter relay team. Congratulations to all the athletes for your outstanding achievements. And we'll see you at the Pipe Yard Sunday night for Rube Foster Night. Clearview versus Vermilion in baseball at 4. Lorain playing Elyria around 6:30 with a great feature between the games honoring a wonderful lady who was a player in the Negro Leagues as a lady, going against men, and she had some great stats, so it's going to be a fun Sunday evening at the Pipe Yard. See you then.
Thank you, Jim. Our closing remarks, the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame Committee gratefully acknowledges the following committees and organizations that have provided extraordinary service and support to our program these years. We sincerely appreciate the continued support that enables the committee to maintain and expand the programs to honor the athletes of our community. The American Slovak Club, First Federal Savings of Lorain, Colmeyer Sporting Goods, Lake Erie Healthcare Corporation, Liberty Ford Lincoln Mercury, The Morning Journal, Redmond Recreation and On the Avenue, and the City of Lorain Administration. We thank you very much. We also would like to express our thanks to those involved in making this another special event. First to Ron Bacalar. With the retirement of the longtime MC Joe Tate after last year's banquet, we are pleased that you have accepted the opportunity to resume the banquet master of ceremony role. Another fine job. Thank you, Ron. The committee appreciates the media assistance and support the programs of the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. Over in the far corner is the Morning Journal sports staff, the Elyria Chronicle, Jim Allen on WEOL Radio, Joe Bach on WLCS TV 20 contributed to the success of this annual event. Thank you for your cooperation. Thank you, Joe. And we can't forget Len DeLuca and their staff here at DeLuca's Place in the Park. Thank you for your cooperation in making this another successful and enjoyable evening. And finally, to the banquet chairman, Bob Lasicki, and the banquet committee, to the program book editorial staff and coordinating editor, Bill Stow, to advertising coordinator, Ten Driscoll, and staff, to Harvey Herman and Bob Katrasak, co-chairman of the narrative and screening committees, and to all members of their dedicated efforts to the producing of this event in honor of excellence in the city of Lorain. And finally, the next activity is the annual golf outing. Fundraiser on Saturday, July 14th at Fox Creek. If you are interested in supporting these events through the whole sponsor program or being a participant, application forms can be obtained from the golf chairman, Rick Hands or Dave Simpson, or any committee member. For details, see page 19 in the banquet program book. We also invite you to visit the Hall of Fame Museum located in the St. Joe's Community Center main lobby. For details, see page 25. For a special visiting hours tomorrow on Friday, 5/4 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Finally, we thank you for your support for being here tonight. We now ask Father Divis to close the program with the benediction. Should I start the timer?
That's right. Start the timer because there were a few speakers that weren't here tonight. I get those minutes. Set, go. Let us pray. Loving God, we give you thanks for the gift of our families and friends, and we pray for those who have gone before us and whose memories we cherish. We thank you for the gifts of our talents, our friendships, the memories, and all that you have given us. We thank you for your kindness and refreshing us tonight as we celebrate your many gifts. Continue to strengthen us not only in body, but in spirit. And we pray that your spirit of love will shine in us as we serve one another in your name. And we ask your blessing on us from you, the source of all that is good, through Christ our Lord. Amen.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.